Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. We are here for our access denied this week. Had to hit the countdown twice because I had to go live. So, welcome to the people who are coming in. Remember, as you come in, as you see the banner going across the screen, like it, share it out to your network. And I know, Sonya, you're sharing. So, one of the things I like to do is check in and want to have everybody say good morning and just really, give an update on how your week has been going. This is Wednesday. It has been a busy week. So some of the things we're going to talk about the school board meeting last night, which was loaded, which we'll discuss the critical race theory they talked about. We'll talk about the student dashboard, the promising scholars update that they gave, but we'll also talk about the personalized learning plan, as a lot of you guys, Nashville Propel parents, had the opportunity to actually be there as Propel parents went to the board to support our brothers and sisters who were speaking during public comment. But this week it started off good. It's been good rain. We got a few, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks now before we start school. But Sonya, how's your week started out?
Hey, John. Hey, Peanut. You want to start crying when we come on the show to everybody? Huh? It is, it's a week.
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted last night. I got so freaking tickled. They said something about it's been a week. It's been something about it being like a year. But we just been like a year. Oh, I got so tickled. That just tickled my soul. I need that lad. But I mean, just keep getting up, fighting every day.
Yep.
That's what we do. What we do.
And so just to give you guys, and Sonya, I'll get your commentary. And so last night on the board, it was one of our longest meetings yet. It lasted to about 10:06. Started off with everything in public comment with, again, people discussing critical race theory. There were people who were there in support of certain schools who were looking to be approved. There was people in there who were not in support of certain schools who spoke up. Again, our Propel parents came out and really talked about the personalized learning plan. And overall, other groups and organizations who were there to really see what was going on in public education. That was one of the largest meetings that we have had since the pandemic came about. And so it was really good to see people in the building fired up about trying to understand what are some of the good things that are happening in our school system, and then what are some of the things that we need to work on. But if you were there, as I see some of the people pop on, let people know we're gonna play a couple of videos for you guys with just some of our parents, but definitely share it out. I see we got Thomas. Good morning, Mr. Driver. I see we got Ivory, who was there, who spoke so passionately that we'll highlight. I see Miss Angela Williams, who came at the end, who was there. Thank you guys for coming out because that's what we really needed.
Hey guys, don't forget to like and don't forget to share. Like and share as you come in. Like and share.
Mm-hmm.
So many people, John, would just come up to me and talking about how passionate I spoke, and thank you. But I just got to tell you what it came from.
Okay.
Victoria,
mm-hmm.
Ivory, and Mary Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
They ignited something in me,
mm-hmm.
and I got to give a credit to our powerful parents.
Mm-hmm.
They were an inspiration. They are inspiration. So Victoria, Ivory, and Miss Mary, thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was gonna say when I got up there, and you guys helped me. You helped me through that moment, because sometimes you get where you what more else do I need to say? How many different ways do I need to say what I need to say?
Mm-hmm.
And it's intentional to make you frustrated. We didn't hear you, and you didn't say, and we didn't say, and this and this and this. People, it's a rat race that we hope parents realize as we talk about this, how you can connect what we're saying, like we're not lying. The system, when you go to the school, they give you the right, you need to talk to this person. You need to talk to this person. No, we didn't tell you. You were supposed to do this. And nobody told you anything. Like, it's a continuous rat race. And we don't have enough of this. And we can't do this. It's never about what we can do. It's always about what folk can't do. It's something that I want to highlight that I did say last night that people may have missed when I first started off. And one of the things that I said is that people in the school district, they can promise you stuff. They'll always say, like, they're going to do this and do that. And what we have to understand as parents and as a community is all they got to do is say they're going to do something. But the truth is, and the reality is, they don't even have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't have to do it. Like public education, everybody's like, save public education. I've never understood how a system is supposed to do something and nobody ever makes them do it.
Right. Right.
They are supposed to educate you. The public education system was set up, first of all, for poor white people. It was never set up for Black people. So when we say this system is not for us, public education was set up actually for poor white people. Am I right, John? I mean,
yeah.
that's how it was.
Yeah.
It was built for poor white people because we weren't even accepted into public education. Right. Mind you, we were segregated over here.
3/5 of a man or a woman.
Yeah, so it wasn't even set up for us in the first place. So when we say this system is not made for us, there's a whole lot of truth in that. And so I never, like, government is scary, period, because they don't have to do nothing that they say they're gonna do. And they know that. And that's why they know they can bullshit you around. Talk to this school board member, talk to that school board member. Oh, I didn't know that policy existed. This is what you should do. Not even following their own damn policies. Like, you got that much power that you can write a government policy and not follow the MF. Excuse my language. This ain't for kids.
Yeah.
But it's that, like, and maybe I need some kind of coaching on cussing, but it makes me that angry that people in government, school board members, I'm talking about in particular, have policies and procedures and don't even, like, will say to you to your face, like, oh, I didn't even know we had that. My bad. Excuse me for the miscommunication. No, ain't no miscommunication. You're not following your own. That's all I want you to do. I'm not asking you for no favors. I'm not asking you for your friendship. I'm asking you to do what you're supposed to do. And then I think the world would be a better place. Then we can try to, amend some stuff if we haven't did. First, we got to follow the bullshit first. Who is that laughing? Stop laughing at me. Somebody laughing at me. Y'all gonna stop laughing at me. I can't help it. I'm old and crazy.
Yep.
Oh, that's another thing. What they say, what that principal say to me that time, John? She said, crazy, Sonya. Yes, I am crazy for the children.
Yeah.
Mess with me if you want to.
Yeah. And one of the things that we talk about here, and again, thank you guys. I want to run down. I see you real quick on the highlight, Mr. Podge Jackson. We've been missing you, alum. Yeah, man. Yeah. We'll follow up with you. Thank you for jumping on. But last night was important, right? Last night was the most packed school board meeting since we had the pandemic. And what we always say here, Propel, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And
Come
people
on,
came
John.
from
Say it again. Say it again.
if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And if you looked at that board meeting last night, you realized that a lot of other groups realized that if they wasn't out here advocating, that they were going to be on the menu. And I was proud to see our parents when they walked in with their shirts on, with their signs, and they listened, and they cheered, and they got a good perspective of what a $1 billion budget meeting over the year can look like. And as I listened to those parents and saw their videos on Facebook, like, they were excited to finally be at the table. They didn't know the door was that open. And that's what we want to do at Nashville Propel, like training our parents to let them know that they deserve not only to have a seat at the table, but to really lead the table.
Man, is it too much to ask to educate our children?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And as we get out, it's a couple things I want to talk about, but first I'm gonna just highlight the parents who were there, because I really want to give like a big thank you. Like, you too? Okay. Shout out to Alicia Crump, Angela Williams, Brooklyn Tankard, who was there for the first time, Chris Purtle, Eric Prince first time, Ivory, who spoke, Joyce Gardner, who was there like an OG cohort 4, Lakeisha Purtle, who graduated from our fellowship, Larry Powell, who was there for the first time, Marnisha Gardner, who just graduated from our fellowship, Mary Sweat, who just as a grandmother spoke for the first time at the board, Monica Fantasy, Nicole Chrisman, Miss Phyllis Kennard, who got there early, Shamika Holder, should we say Sasha, who's just a huge supporter, Mr. Terry Gant with Unity Rides, who brought his kids walking in there. Thank you, Miss Reverend Benita Lewis, Thomas Fennessy, Victoria Gordon, who started off as all the parents stood in support with Miss Gordon, and then Will Davis. And if I miss somebody, just hit me up and let me know. But I did want to start off and just give a huge shout out to those parents I know who came out to stand with us. Also, Robert Thompson, who just had got out the hospital, dropped in to really support the effort. Like, this is what it's about.
For somebody to come off their deathbed,
Mm-hmm.
this man was literally on life support, and to come off of your deathbed to that school board meeting because you believe in the work that we're doing and what we're fighting for. When I saw him, man,
Mm-hmm.
I just hugged him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so many people make excuses or, you know, things happen, but that just says so much about a person that comes off of their deathbed.
Yeah.
To get there. And, you know, Robert, we're still praying for you and thank you.
Yes. And so if you could just go through, Sonia, and I wish we would have had some of our speakers on, but just go through like the message that you wanted to communicate. Do you think it was well received? And then I just want to go into just my viewpoint from the board. As we listen to parents talk about the personalized learning plan.
You asked me, do I think that you talk about me speaking personally?
Yeah, just you speaking personally. Just the message. Do you think your message was received, and what feedback did you get from people in the audience who were not part of Propel?
I don't think the message was received by the board members. Like, public comment is for them to listen. It's for Dr. Battle to listen. I don't think it's being received. I honestly, until somebody does something, it's not being received.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's not just my message.
Mm-hmm.
It's the message of our parents who we represent. And I don't think they're listening to us. I think that they're back to business as usual.
Mm.
I mean, I've had somebody, you know, that I'm talking to that's highly teacher union person, that the conversation always starts with under resourced. And I asked her point blank, how much longer you gonna say that? Like how much longer do you think you can ride that message? Is what I said to her. And I'm not being petty or sarcastic. It's the truth. Like, stop talking bullcrap to me. How much longer you think you're gonna be able to say that with a 1.5? This is what I said to her. So if anybody say I'm lying, they lying. How much longer you gonna be able to ride that message with a $1.5 billion budget and $146 million plus, with more coming in and resources that the state makes available free to teachers? How much longer you think you're gonna be able to say that? That's why you got to have knowledge and understanding the stuff. So when people come run up on you with bull crap, you go ahead and straighten them. We have more money than ever. We are not underfunded and under-resourced. We have resources at the state level that teachers and the districts can reach out to. When I tell you that is a blank check, so stop letting people tell you that we're underfunded. What I did notice last night is the people in the audience understood. What I do know is the people on that board understand. One of the things that I think that is detrimental to our system, and I think the city as a whole has to look at, is the fact that the board is supposed to be there to regulate, to manage, and they're incapable of doing that. The reason why I say that is they never discuss academic achievement.
Mm-hmm.
They have the words accountability and support all mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between supporting Dr. Battle. I support Dr. Battle.
Yes.
I always say a lot of her ideas and vision for things we align on.
Yes.
But I'm going to hold you accountable, sis. Just like my kids. My kids have responsibilities to do stuff just like I do. I hold people accountable just like I want them to hold me accountable. I am accountable to our team. They are accountable to me. We're accountable to each other. And when I see a board protecting the system and getting their responsibilities mixed up, there's a difference between supporting a Black female superintendent, which I do, and holding her accountable, which I will.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not doing that. They're not asking her to be accountable. They're too busy trying to politically save her, and they're going to politically sabotage her. See, when you love people, you hold them accountable. I hold parents accountable all the time. And I support them and I love them and I tell them the truth. And when we have elected officials who get those two things mixed up, support and accountability, they sabotage their own success. Mm-hmm. Not only their own success, but you sabotage you sabotage the lives of the people, of the children that you're supposed to be protecting, because you feel like you got to protect a person and a system, and then you often forget about the people that the system is supposed to be catering to.
Yeah, and we can understand where it came from. As you look at the board members who were in the previous administration, they watched how, the previous superintendent got hung out to dry. So in their minds, they don't want it to happen again. And so this is the strategy. But again, this is not personal. It's about the health, welfare, and academic achievement of our kids. And maybe I got it wrong, maybe I got it wrong. But what I truly believe and stand by is that we just got a lot of work to do. We had a lot of work to do before the pandemic. We got a lot of work to do now. And we don't have time to slap high fives publicly. we got the opportunity to work behind the scenes and publicly with parents to get the job done. Parents, teachers, community stakeholders, like this is our opportunity. And one of the things I want to play just a snippet of your speech, Sonya, and then I'm gonna move into, because the biggest thing last night, they talked about critical race theory. And this is something we talked about on the show. They talked about how critical race theory has now reached Nashville. It was in Williamson County. It was a huge debate. They always wondered, was it going to reach Nashville? And last night it did. And so we'll read that article. But I do want to play a snippet of your speech. And then by the end, I'm going to play a couple more about parents. Let's see.
All they have to do is say they're going to do something, and they don't have to do anything. Everybody's already made their decisions today about things are very important. Votes about amendments and other issues, and they're very important. But we started this process back in May of 2020 because we knew that things were going to be catastrophic. And we thought that we had some good collaboration with Dr. Battle and her central office staff that were making way, and we presented this personalized learning plan that we vetted across the country with experts, along with parents, just like you, and some people from the community, just like you. And we created a task force to address learning loss for our children, but nobody's listening. The talks have stopped. Thank you for your dashboard. That is great because we all need to see the ugly truth. But what we're asking for is what you gonna do with the stuff in the dashboard. What you gonna do with it? For far too long, y'all. Like, I'm tired of coming up here asking and begging and hoping and praying. As a matter of fact, Father, in the name of Jesus, thank you for this day. I'm serious. We have fought long enough for our children. We have begged long enough. Our children have hit schoolyards, prison yards, and graveyards. And we're tired. And all we're asking is for a plan, a personalized learning plan. It's not a one-size-fits-all. None of our children are alike. All of your children have unique strengths and abilities. And I don't care if they have a learning disability. That's why they got accommodations. They still should know how to read. That's right. And so today, my demand is that you come back to the table, Dr. Battle. Come back to the table. Dr. Santalisa is in Baltimore at the table. There's some other people at the table, but we're not even heard in our own town. Come back to the table. Let's put together a plan together. Let's work together. That's going to look at our children, look at their strengths, their interests, promote real equity. How long have we been talking about equity? Real equity. Y'all through playing, y'all. I'm through playing. Everybody got their agendas. I don't care about nothing else. I walked away from nursing because of these kids. I can't stand to see another kid in a grave. I watched a kid in January go to juvenile for murdering another kid. And he had potential. Get your priority straight.
And so that was a snippet of Sonya's speech last night, and you hit on a couple of points, but the way you ended, you said, get your priorities straight. And when you say that, what do you mean?
We don't have the priority straight. Like I said last night, there's so many things. Like the people in that audience, like people were there because they cared about something. And whatever that is, that's important to them. Right? So if it's people there that's pro CRT, anti CRT, people there from the teachers union, people there, our parents there, people there fighting for their school. Everybody there cared about something. So I did not want to delegitimize what people care about. That's important to me. And that's important to the work that we do. We want to know what's important to people. But when you think about all of that foundationally, those are problems. The real issue is we are not educating our children. So if you talk about CRT and anti-CRT, if you teach children how to read, who cares what they read? Reading is about gaining knowledge. It's about, being able to learn and explore and expand the mind. And what we don't want to do is encapsulate children and box them in. So if they can, so it's about how somebody on Twitter said, we got to teach them how to read. That is the priority. We got to make sure we have quality schools everywhere. We had parents there fighting against a school that has some of the highest literacy rates. They can do better. It's about 50%, 59% on their literacy rate. When they have schools with a 10.9 literacy rate in their neighborhood, and because of the racist tendency, and I'll say that, and I'm going to call it out because one of the parents said, we don't want them there. What you're saying is you don't want Black people in your neighborhood because this school predominantly serves Black children. And as a matter of fact, Chris Moth, back last year on Facebook, said, why don't the Black parents keep their charter schools over there? Because we don't want them in West Nashville. Well, I'm not making up bull. I'm telling you, this white folks saying this to me. Or why are we not talking about a plan to recover children? Why are we talking about a dashboard is good, but we already knew this crap in the dashboard. The dashboard information is new to us. It has never been new to them. They know they've been, failing children. Dr. Battle said it in a board meeting before she presented the dashboard. She said, now look, when we do this,
gonna show the ugly truth.
It's gonna show the ugly truth. We're gonna make it public. So our priorities are not straight. We have a school board that spends 60% of their time or more thinking about how to strategize, how to keep charter schools out. That's all they think about. They have not even asked the director of school about academic achievement, which is the primary priority. If you're not educating children, then you shouldn't have a budget and you shouldn't have a director of schools. There are three roles.
Yep.
If you don't have children, you don't have schools. So your priority is the children. And if it's anything else, what's that deodorant thing, Old Spice? You're uncivilized. You doing anything else, you uncivilized. You're munching on wolf cookies for my out north people. You're smoking dope for my people that's struggling in the back. Yeah.
So just to get just a little bit of feedback from people. So, say that Sonia Victoria, who spoke, says, she sure did. Then tried to cop out last night talking about enrollment. Yep. Christian cop. Ooh, you got a potty mouth like mine. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say something about that. I had an elected official, remember this, John, about a year and a half ago, called me. She said, why are you so angry? I asked her, why aren't you? You know they ain't doing right. And you ain't mad? What the hell is wrong with people? Why aren't we angry
that this is happening to children. Christine, I feel you coming, girl. Maybe we can vent together. You know what? I need somebody to talk to because I do have a lot to say. Our parents have a lot to say. And I tweeted last night, I am concerned about the Bellevue parents in the Hillwood cluster. Somebody brainwashing y'all. Because, first of all, charter schools don't take money from schools. You still gonna get your same funding in your school as that charter school does. It's not gonna take any money from your school. It's gonna give you a different option, whether you're gonna go to H.G. Hills or Publix.
Yeah.
You have to decide that.
Yeah. And can I call out one thing? So it was one speaker who was definitely against the school. And you get everybody got the right to their own opinion, right? That's informed. But what he said our neighborhood schools are great. We love our neighborhood schools, but I send my kid to Meigs. I said, what are we talking about? You love it, it's great, but it's not good enough for your kid because you got a better option that you're gonna take.
No, baby. They are so okay. Gosh, I got to think about this a little bit more. It's like saying we need oxygen. But if y'all bring it over here, we gonna stand together and we ain't gonna take it. We all gonna die. We ain't gonna take we don't want your oxygen because that's because of where it come from. We need the oxygen to breathe. We know we gotta have the oxygen, but because we are just so hell bent on the lies, we don't even want your oxygen. That's what I was hearing last night.
Yeah.
It disturbed me. But you know what I knew? I said, they don't know their literacy rates over there. Them parents at Bellevue, tell them they kid go to a school with a 10.9% literacy rate and watch what they do.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is, they gonna cut up. Guess what? I told it. I told it. Why? Because I feel like all parents should know. School choice is not about charter schools.
All right.
School choice is about whatever decision you decide. I decided to send my child from private school to Hunters Lane. That was school choice. Those were the choices that I had. And sometimes the choices are not always good. It's not about charter. The word choice, if you look it up in the Webster dictionary, says decision. That's what it says.
Yeah. Very, very clear, very clear. Brian Harrell says they don't love neighborhood schools. If they love them, then their kids would have attended Bailey Middle back in the day.
Man, this ain't about neighborhood schools. It's about our neighborhood schools because we are disenfranchised, we are marginalized, and we're redlined. This is about, I'm just going to tell the truth. This is about not wanting too many Black people in Bellevue. Somebody said it to me. CRT, anti-CRT. Where's the law against somebody calling my child a monkey in school? Real life. My daughter was called a monkey by white kids. She looked like a monkey. You Black monkey in class, in the classroom. Trin, what class was that? She was told, but there's no law. All that mess people talking about. This is about when you're disputing with wisdom. I see you. Take your mask off. This is about not making sure the children know how to read. The bottom line, there's not any CRT taught in public schools anyway. We taught the wrong stuff about history anyway. The real truth ain't taught in schools. This is a political move. This is a Democratic and a Republican rule. This is a rich people talk. This is about the privilege. Those who have and those who have not. Those who have access and those who are denied access. And we always end up on the side of the access denied.
I'll tell you what somebody told me. They said, look, in the Hillwood cluster, most of those kids go to private school. So the kids go, so what are y'all doing? I'm like, it's still kids that can't read in the Bellevue cluster. Like, it just sound, when that lady said not in my community, it really took me back to the desegregation of Nashville schools.
She said, we do not want them here. I just walked out because I was about to cut up. And I said, Jesus, I done said this prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive her because she know not what she doing. I'm finna walk out this room.
Mm-hmm.
Like disrupt this darn school board meeting.
Mm.
She said, we do not want them here.
With a straight face.
With a straight face and proper.
Mm-hmm. And she looked like the people she was against. I just want to point that out. She's not the same. Yeah.
You are not the same. When I say the word privilege, I ain't just talking about white people.
Right.
It's some privileged ass black people too.
Yep.
Now, don't get me started on that too.
All right.
Right is right and wrong is wrong for me.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother is biracial. So I don't have nothing against white people. Because then I'd have something against myself too.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who blood going through your body. All I want people is to treat me right and fair and treat the people around me right and fair, not judges. I want people to see color. Color is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to love the color who they are. But I also want them to love the color of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Not at all. Not at all. So I'm gonna pull up because we talked about and towards the end, one thing I want to highlight is a couple of programs with the federal government that I want to highlight that can be really beneficial for parents. But this next article that we'll be reading, it talks specifically about CRT. Let me go back.
And I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
It is bull crap. I want to know. This is what I'm tripping off of. When we gonna go to a Williamson County school board meeting?
Mm-hmm.
See, they don't want that smoke.
Mm-hmm.
You don't send the Wilco people over here. Hell, I said we get together and go over there. Let's talk about this. Yeah, that's how I like to roll. When they school board meeting.
Right.
Lynn, you listening? Lynn Franklin Hope. When they school board meeting, let's roll up. Let's carpool. Amanda Hale from the MNEA. Let's go up there. Let's talk about this. Let's change the world together. Torvis said, yes, let's go. I know Torvis ready to roll now. Torvis is one of our organizers. He's becoming one of our senior organizers because he's been here almost 2 years. Shout out to Torvis. Great work yesterday. Torvis is becoming my side man right here, helping me with organizing on the ground. So thank you, Torvis, for your hard work and dedication, the investment in your leadership and your growth. Very proud of you. And I saw Trend yesterday, and she done got so big.
Mm-hmm.
She done got so tall. My goodness.
But even as him being an organizer in Propel, he still has to advocate for his daughter. And those are one of the things we went through. Like, it doesn't stop just because of the work we do. We still get challenged.
Absolutely. We can't do this together.
Yep.
I mean, apart. We have to do it together. We all have to, like, all of our parents, guys, like, have been advocating for their children. Like, we listen to parents, and the parents, they've been going to schools, you know, they've been asking for help. Excuse me, they've been doing all of those things. And by the way, sorry for the church. I need to change the fire alarm in here. I'm gonna do that. I hadn't been in here in a while, but you know, they've been advocating, and what we do is we help them to effectively advocate for their children. Y'all, do y'all know how long Torvis and Joyce asked for help with Trinity? I mean, it's not about the school that your child goes to either, to a certain extent, when it comes to you advocating for your child. It's because it's a system problem. We got a system problem. The priority school problem is a system failure. And when you try to fix it at the school level, you're going to fail. John said somebody told him you're going to always have priority school. It's because you always attack it at the school level. So you have one school like Napier, shout out to Napier's principal over there, who is turning that school around. Shout out to the principal over at Warner, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they leave, the school will go back downhill because they're fixing it at the school level and not the system level. So when you don't fix it at the system level, you think about a car, right? When you don't maintain the engine, right? If your engine break down, ain't nothing gonna work in the car, right?
Right. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. You've got to take care of all the parts of the car, the system, the generating system, which is your engine. And that's where you know what? Come on, I'm gonna go to church. I think Nashville Propel can run a whole school system.
Mm-hmm.
I know we get it. When you've done a thing, you can teach a thing. When you've been through the crap that our parents have been through, you have the power to fix a thing. And I think that is where the district is making the mistake of not listening to us, because they think that we don't know any better. They have prejudged us, but I think they understanding now, John, that we not.
I think they're definitely getting the point, and that's what this is about. And so we got our campaign meeting coming up next Tuesday, and so as I see all the people who came. Like, this is an opportunity for next Tuesday at 6:00 to step into this, so we could say, okay, like, what's next? Let's debrief what we went through, what we remembered. Who else is coming? How do we triple that number? And so just know, as I see everybody on, I know Victoria gonna be there, Ivory gonna be there. We got a lot of parents who are already coming, but we need to keep these numbers growing, and so we can make sure that we have the power to really advocate, not just for our kids, but like Sonia said, like across the whole district, the system policies.
Victoria's up here on the screen. If they knew better, then they would do better. And so can we play Victoria's speech last night? I'm gonna tell you, Victoria, Ivory, Miss Mary, you guys are an inspiration. You are so powerful. Victoria, I got on Victoria yesterday. Victoria is about to move into some different actions. So we can continue to develop her leadership. I see the greatness in her. And if we got to have car rides all the time, I know we carpooling tonight. That's my girl. I love Victoria. I love her power. I love her fight. I love being in this fight with her. Victoria, you spoke very passionately. Victoria is a parent that has children who've gone through elementary, middle, and high school, and she's got a grandbaby who started walking at 6 months.
Come on now.
And I saw that baby yesterday, and my God, he has grown. But Victoria is in this fight, not just for herself. She understands what she's got to do and lay down, you know, and put on the table for other parents. And I think that she realizes the power in her voice.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like an engine. I was passionate because of your passion and Ivory's passion. Ivory about took me out.
Kicked it off.
Was it 2 years ago? I said it. You know,
Mhm.
the Holy Spirit be telling me stuff. I know I cuss, but I do have a relationship with God and spiritual and all that stuff. Y'all, I sat in our office in a fellowship. It might have been cohort 3.
Yeah, cohort 3.
I looked at Ivory and I said, she is the mini me. I said it, and I meant that. I don't say, y'all, I ain't gonna say nothing to nobody. I don't mean. I'm too old for that bull crap. If I said it, I mean it. Ivory is the mini me. She spoke, y'all. She ain't number what, 21 years old?
Maybe 24, but she'll take
Maybe 24, 21, 24 is all same. She has a 3-year-old. And John, let me know when you're ready to tee up. I'm trying to set up the videos
Yep.
that she's fighting for.
Yep.
But let's play Victoria first.
Yep. I didn't see the video. One thing that we got is Megan's coverage. We'll start with Victoria. Let's see.
I have Victoria's video on the iPad. It's on the iPad. We'll play it. We'll play it this week.
Okay. But as you look, and I'm gonna blow this up just a little bit. Just as they start with Victoria, Victoria Gordon of Nashville Propel is up next. As she speaks, at Sonya the Mom says, Nashville Propel, please stand up. And then they talk about how not only Victoria, but the parents at Propel have been advocating for the district to create individualized learning plans for all students in an effort to make up learning loss, right? And so it's like Victoria is a seasoned veteran in that game, right? And then next you have Ivory, right? But they also said like the Tennessean documented a small portion of Victoria Gordon and her son Malik's journey this school year. And then Ivory Wilson is up next. Her 3-year-old son is starting school this year. Near tears, she says she worries that the district will fail him like it failed her 6 years ago, right? And as you think about that, when people look back on their high school career, like being able to have something set up, like plans, ideas, and support, like when you listen to her story, like that was the support, like that she was missing. And that's what we need from our school systems because it's not that hard.
Look, the accountability scores for the state of Tennessee are posted on the state of Tennessee website. The school that Ivory graduated from back when, John, what year?
Maybe that was 2014, 2015.
2014, 2015. 2018, 2019 has a literacy score of NA. Let me explain that. Because so many kids below 5% illiterate, not proficient, because they weren't taught, not because of their lack of ability. It ain't because they mom and daddy, because it's because of a system failure. The state has to report it because it's under 1%, I believe, of the students are proficient. They have to report it as NA to hide the identity of the kids. We're talking about a big high school. And so many of the children, as of 18 and 19 data, because we didn't collect any 20 data, are so unproficient in literacy and math that they have to say NA. We have high schools here in Nashville in the last few years who have graduated valedictorians with a 14 ACT. My daughter transferred to the neighborhood high school and was the only student in the population of general education that graduated with honors. And they didn't do it. She came there proficient. I don't care if you white, you black. I don't care if you have children or you don't. I don't care if you have your own organization. I don't care your status, whether you're privileged or not. If this does not scare the bejesus out of you, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. And you talking about kids that didn't go to school for a whole year, John.
Right.
What the hell do we think done happened?
Maybe they think it got better. But what we realize, and I'm gonna tell you guys, that's why we need to continue support, because everybody who comes on here, I already know y'all don't play no games, right? Like I already know your kids are in good positions because you are learning, you understand, and you know what it's like to fight. But what we're saying, when they come for everybody else and we don't do enough to help everybody else, there's nobody else around when they eventually come for us. And
she got a question, John.
How long will they be allowed to have that NA? And honestly, that makes a lot of sense that they got to put NA because they don't want to release the identity. But how sorry and unfair is that to the kids if it continues to go long? And it's the schools. It's not just one school and then the next 10 years like you're good. These are schools that consistently show the NA. And I never knew until I went to the class. I was like, that's what NA mean? Like, that's criminal. Like, that's criminal.
Christian Buzz said, my 3-year-old will be entering MNPS in exactly 4 weeks, and I feel so overwhelmed as a parent. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the party. And so what we got to do is not only support Dr. Battle, but also hold Dr. Battle, the board accountable. And we've got to look at this as a system failure, not a people failure. It's not a teacher failure. It is a system failure. And so we've got to have strategies and tactics that approach it not at the school level.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go from school to school and try to fix it, because that's when we'll see the spiral. It'll just keep happening generationally. We've got to fix things systemically. Yeah. We've got to have district-wide approaches, especially that will decrease the inequities in our system. Because what happens is Warner, Ricky Gibbs over there tearing it up.
Mm-hmm.
But when Ricky Gibbs leaves there, it'll start to have problems. And that's one of the things that I want to impress upon the leadership in the district. To take what we're saying, there's this thing of giving feedback that scares people, right? People, when you get feedback, so I teach my team about feedback, right? Feedback is good. When we go to the grocery stores, or we shop online, they ask us to rate them, knowing that some of those ratings are going to be like painful. But a great leader, a great regulator or operator understands how to take that feedback and turn it into liquid gold. And that is what I'm afraid of with those who work in our system. It's being able to take feedback, constructive feedback, and turn it into liquid gold. So, Ms. Buggs, as chairwoman of the school board, welcome to the party, because we've been worried for a long time. And we have parents who do not have the power that you have. And so imagine how they feel. You're going to be all right. Christopher going to be all right because you're a chairman of the school board. You're a community member. You know, your family comes from a good family. You've gone to college. You're going to be all right. I guarantee you. But the parents that don't have those things and access to those things is who you and I and everybody on the sound of my voice have to worry about. And when we fix things for them collectively and go beyond even thinking about budgets, and those things are all needed. We got to have money. Like I got to have money to live in my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also have to have a plan for my household. I have to have a strategic plan,
Mm-hmm.
even as a person, to make sure that I'm growing.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sonia, you took the words right out of my mouth. And I think Christian says, and just for context, I think you said it, Christian is the school board chair. Christian represents District 5. Christian, thank you for even jumping on here and commenting. Like, these are conversations we have, especially right after the school board, in order to really communicate with parents and get their perspective, because it's one thing to think that we know the answer and we're not listening to the people. And so listening to parents really gives us a perspective. But one thing, Sonia, that really stood out to me when we talked about the strategic plan, and I'll say, even as a board member, and maybe I could be totally wrong, and Christian, feel free to jump in.
Nashville Propel is nonpartisan.
Yeah.
So I want to put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah, definitely nonpartisan. But I think the strategic plan is around, like, how do we recover learning loss? Like, how do we make sure academic achievement increases? And if that's my role, like, I'm down, right? Like, but I think in my role, that's not my role to do it. It's my role to, like, support the plan. And I think we gotta really come together as parents, teachers, community members. I see some teachers on here. I see Mr. Harrell. I saw another.
I met a lot of teachers last night that want to connect. They're gonna call me. Look, when we built this plan, let's be clear. We built this plan with teachers and with them in mind. We heard their feedback, because a lot of them were concerned about things being kind of hard for them, right? Mm-hmm. And so we heard their feedback, and we included them on our children's cabinet or task force, and some great teachers. And when we thought about the teachers that we wanted to include on there, we wanted to make sure they were teachers that students believed in, like people that students have interacted with. So I personally went to my girls and said, who do you think is just somebody that just cares about kids, not willing to work with us, who can bring the teacher's point of view, good and bad, the struggles of a teacher. And it was Dr. Ashley Ross. And so I asked her to ask Dr. Sue Kessler, because what I wanted Sue, and first of all, I think Sue has an amount of brilliance going on in Hunter's Lane that's not tapped into. But also, I wanted to make sure that Sue knew that, I trust her expertise and want her feedback. And I'm gonna actually call Sue soon.
Yeah. But
we included teachers and educators in this, because we can't do it without them. And so, if you are a teacher under the sound of my voice, I was actually corresponding with a teacher today. Get at me. Let's make sure that we work together on putting this plan, because what I know is there's not a teacher that wakes up in the morning that says like, I want to fail children. I don't want children to pass. Like, I generally believe that educators love children. Sherry, my friend, is on there. Sherry Lucas Hall, educator. Sherry, yes, I'm going to call you because I'm getting ready to put together another cabinet. But I believe that we need educators, we need great educators, and I believe that they want to be successful. You just don't know how many phone calls and videos I've had. Yes, Michelle, just call me. Just call me because I'm like on video all the time. Just call me because I have your name. Michelle, call me. It's in my phone. Just call me. I'm gonna stop what I'm doing. As a matter of fact, I'm hungry. We need to go eat. Anyway, I believe that educators want children to succeed. I believe that the system that is set up does not allow for that. Meaning, educators are not taught how to teach children how to read, but you expect them to go in there and be a surgeon and do surgery without the skill. So shout out to the state of Tennessee for requiring. But I want to tell you guys something. What I am worried about is we've got a law put in place, and I don't mean to change subject, but I got to put this point together. We've got a law that retains third graders and teachers who are not prepared yet. It's not enough time. 2022 is next year. You've got to give the teachers the tools. So we're rushing the process. We're rushing the process.
Yep.
And we got to get this plan together. We got to work together and attack this from a systemic level and not a school level, John. That is my point.
Yep. And I got a role, but just want to highlight Aquanaya Driver. She says she just came into the conversation. She wants to be involved because she has an 80-year-old that has learning problems and she's very scared for him. So Torvis, Thomas, let me know. Yeah, and we'll get it done. I got a role to pick up my son for camp. Run a little bit behind, but thank you guys for really joining in. Like, this is a good conversation. Christian, I know we'll be in contact really soon because we need this personalized learning plan.
Yes. And Christian, give me a call.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Love you guys. See y'all too.